Mr. Greco?
Yes, here.
Mr. Lawson?
Here.
Mr. McDowell?
Here.
Mr. Parquet?
Here.
Mr. Pavelko?
Here.
We have a quorum. Mayor, can you please get the sign-up sheets, please?
Mr. Jang.
You
Yes.
could go to the podium. There's a microphone there.
There's a microphone there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you just want to speak about your plans with the 116 Kenrick Avenue student housing?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen of council, my name is Victor Kustra. I'm an attorney at the Lynch Law Group. We represent Mr. Matheen Jang and Future Eye Service, his company who owns the building at 116 Kendrick Avenue. I was asked to come here tonight on behalf of Mr. Jang. Certainly, he'll answer any questions, but him and I have had lengthy discussions about the conditional use application that's before you tonight. So certainly I'm here to assist and answer any questions that you might have as well. So with that being said, I did have the opportunity to speak with Mrs. Petrosky and with your solicitor, Mr. Caprani, about some of the potential concerns, some of the things that were brought up in front of the Planning Commission regarding the application. And so in that regard, I did put together a memorandum for your consideration, just to try to get out in front of some of the issues that you might have. What I can tell you at this point, I've had some lengthy discussions with Mr. Jang. He has a long tenure in international education here in the United States. He's very passionate about international studies and allowing international students to have the opportunity to come and learn here, and specifically in rural areas. He believes that that's a core element in the true, international education experience here in the United States. And he really appreciates the opportunity to be here before you tonight for your consideration, and he looks forward to the opportunity to partner with the community in his endeavors. And so, with that being said, certainly if you have any specific questions pertaining to the application or to Mr. Jang's use of the property, we'd be happy to answer those at this time.
I do. Is he already aligned with different colleges? We were told he was, and we were told he was not. Is he already aligned with bringing in students for certain colleges in our area?
He is not.
He is not?
Yes. Okay. At this moment, we have not reached any agreement with any college, okay. But we do have done detailed research about the colleges in this area, especially for two colleges, Penn State Fayette and Moreland County Community College. Okay. At this moment, they do not have on-campus housing for any student. Okay. Especially, I visited Penn State Fayette in September when I purchased this building. I talked with the admissions. They told me, at this moment, they do not have any international students.
They do or they do not, I'm sorry?
They do not. They do not have any international students, but they do like international students to come to their campus. Now they do not have any on-campus housing. There are some apartment buildings near the college campus. Okay, it takes about 10 minutes to drive from those apartments to the college campus. Okay. Okay. That's very good for the U.S. students because the U.S. students will drive, right? However, that's not possible for the international students because they do not have a U.S. driver license and they do not drive here. Okay, the 10 minutes drive means it may take over 1 hour for them to walk from the apartment to the campus. Okay.
Sir, do you do this at any other location besides what you intend to do here in Denora?
Yes, not in Fayette.
I'm sorry, where else do you do it?
He does it in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Right.
because in Wisconsin, yeah.
How many other locations do you have, though? Just one in Wisconsin or several?
Okay. At this moment, so our headquarters is in New York, and we have 2 locations in Wisconsin.
How long have they been ongoing?
Wisconsin is about 3 years.
They've both been ongoing for 3 years?
Yes, it has gone very well in Wisconsin. But in New York, we have been there for, this is our 10th year in New York now.
What are your plans to keep them from becoming rowdy? Should they? I'm sure they're here to study, but like all kids, college or not, sooner or later they're going to try to raise some cane. Do you have any security within your building at Kendrick Avenue?
Yes. Okay. Now, it has the security system there. Okay.
Yeah, but that's for a burglary. I'm talking about you have people inside that can keep an eye on the kids.
Yes, we will have, we will have a 24-hour dorm supervisor there to live with them. Okay. Also, we will have 2 residential assistants to live there with our dorm supervisor.
24/7?
Yes.
Have you ever had issues in any of the other locations with not just drinking and drugs, but say with fighting or outright abuse? Have you ever been cited by any state for those issues?
Okay. Yeah. In our other locations, we have agreements with the students and parents, and whenever the students violate our rules for the alcohol, smoking, or drugs, or fighting, whenever they violate any of those rules, we will dismiss the international students immediately. That means they must return to their home country immediately.
How many students do you plan on having?
Okay, in this building, we will have up to 40 students. Okay, but for the first year, now it's December. If we could get approval now and then, we will have students there from September 2022. In the first year, we hope to, we should be able to get about 10 to 15 students in the first year. And by September 2023, we will have up to 40 students.
And how will they transport from Kendrick Avenue to the college that you're going to get them into?
Okay. In the first year, when we just have 10 to 15 students, then we will have a driver to drive a van for the students. That means the driver will send the students to the campus in the morning at around 8:30 in the morning. And then the driver will pick up the students from the campus in the evening at around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Okay, that means we will only need the parking lots for the dorm supervisors and the residential assistants, and then we will hire a driver from outside, and the driver will drive a van in the first year, and then in the second year, when we have about 40 students, we will have a bus driver to take them to the.
Will they also be eating there, or will they be eating in our local restaurant?
Okay. Basically, we will order meals for them from local restaurants, but they will eat there.
There's no kitchen there that's going to cook and prepare the food for them there?
There is a commercial kitchen there. There's a commercial kitchen there now. Before I purchased this building, I think the previous owner did have a commercial kitchen there. They did cook it there. Okay, but for us at this moment, we do not have
Okay,
any plan.
you're gonna be spending money at our restaurants, in other words, what you're gonna be doing.
Okay, that's within our budget. You know, we will charge the money from international students, and we have the budget to order food from the local restaurant.
Would most of these students be first or second year students or third or fourth year?
Pardon me?
Would most of the students be like in their first or second year of college or in their third or fourth year? Or throughout mixture, buddy?
Most of the students will be the first and the second year of college students.
Okay.
Yeah, because for those two colleges, for the Penn State, I think over 80% of the students will just spend 2 years there and then transfer to other 4-year colleges.
And you said none of them have driver's license?
Okay, almost all of them do not have a U.S. driver license. Yeah, it's not first it's difficult for international students to get a driver license in the United States, and the second, even some students have driver license. In our agreements with the students and parents, okay, we do not allow any of our students to own a car or rent a car or drive a car when they live in our dorm. You know, that's for security, for their safety.
So you pretty much provide all transportation for them?
Yes, definitely.
Is there a certain hour that they have to be back inside Kendrick Avenue?
Yes.
What's gonna be the curfew limit for you? In other words, what time in the evening do they have to be back inside the house? Or there isn't any?
About, I think it should be between 6 and 6:30.
Yeah, but then they can go out and eat, they can go out and walk the streets, they can go out and exercise. What time do they have to be in by the end of the evening?
Okay.
Or isn't there any time limit?
Yes, okay. Basically, after we will take them back to the dorm between 6 and 6:30, and after they return to the dorm, basically the student will stay in the building and will not come out in the evening.
Surely they gotta get out and exercise, they gotta take a walk, they gotta do something. All I'm interested in, are you gonna have somebody there to make sure they're all in bed by midnight, 1 o'clock?
No. Okay. Okay. They will. Okay. For example, okay. But they could do exercises. They could walk on the campus, and then after they return to the dorm at around 6:30, and then they will have dinner there, and then they will study there, and then stay and go to bed at around like 10 to 11 o'clock.
Do you have any other plans for what you would use the building for if no students are interested?
Right. At this moment, no, because first, based on our previous experience of recruiting international students, if the situation of COVID-19 does not get worse in the following, then we are confident we could get at least 10 to 15 students by September 2022. Okay. And in case we cannot get students for the September 2022, we will wait for another year to get students. Okay. For example, if the situation for the COVID-19 is still not becomes worse in the following, we cannot get any students for September 2022, then we could wait another year, to open the dorm in September 2023. Yeah, we could afford the cost to wait another year.
Do you have any citations against you from any states regarding any incidents?
Do you have any citations in any of the other properties? Any violations for any reason?
You mean I have a property in other locations?
Yes.
Violations, yeah.
Yeah. No, at this moment, no.
Not so much building violations, but regarding incidents among the students themselves.
Criminal, anything?
No.
So if anything criminal goes on, you would immediately report it to police, correct?
Yes, and we have agreements with the students and parents. Whenever any students have criminal activities, they will be sent back to their home country immediately.
So in a nutshell, you're only going to use this property for international students
Yes,
that do not have cars.
yes,
They will be transported from the property to the university,
yes,
then from the university back to this property.
yes,
They do not have cars.
yes,
The only parking you would need would be for your supervisor and your 2 RAs.
yes,
That's it.
yes,
And then once they come back, they go into their dorms, they study, they eat from local restaurants or whatever they want to do, and then they go to bed and the next day it starts again, right?
yes.
Okay.
And during the weekends and the holidays, if they want to go out for shopping, for activities, we will also have van or buses to take them out.
Okay, and you've done this in other locations, it's worked?
Yes, it works.
Company involved in any other industries, would you be willing to provide articles of incorporation?
Listen, if there are companies involved in other operations or in property ownership and international education.
Okay. In the other properties, we worked, for example, in Wisconsin, we worked with the school. That means that the school owns the student dorm on the campus, and we recruited the students for the school, and we managed the dorm with the school together. Yeah.
Besides student housing, do you have any other industries that your company is involved in? Or is that the only one?
Yes, okay. We own other properties in New York City, but that's rental properties. They are not for student dorm. Yeah, we do. We have 3 rental properties in New York City, in Manhattan.
My question is if this doesn't work out, what's going to happen to the building? Okay, if you don't get students and this doesn't, come to where you get so many kids that want to come here and go to our local colleges, which sometimes that just makes me a little mind-boggling, because if they have enough money to leave another country and come here, I would think they would be trying to get into higher education, like to a bigger university and a higher education. That's why it sounds a little crazy to me, because we have small colleges here. Unless like you go to Penn State, Fayette, and then you're going to transfer to Penn State, that would be a thing. But my concern is if it doesn't pan out and you don't get the student housing, what is going to happen to the building?
Okay. First, again, that means if we could not get any student in the first year, as I have just said, we could wait for another year to get the students.
Right.
Okay. But we could operate the dorm very well if we are able to have at least 10 students. Okay, before COVID-19, we had over 200 students in New York City. Then there would be no problem for us to get 10 students. Even we just have 10 students, we could operate the dorm very well.
These international students, where would they be coming? What countries would they be coming from?
Okay, most of them will come from Asia and Europe.
Now, if you don't get, I'm sorry.
Number 2, the college in Wisconsin. What is the name of that college that you are affiliated with?
Okay, in Wisconsin, our 2 partners are high schools. The first is the North Cedar Academy, and the second is the Martin Luther High School.
So in other words, you do high school and college.
Yes.
Now, have you gotten into contact with any schools around here? Let's say you can't get 10 college students, so you want to get maybe 5 high school students and 5 college students. Have you contacted Well, I guess if you lived here, there'd be wrinkle. You contact wrinkle about international students, as per se?
For this building, at this moment, we do not have any plan to host the high school students.
Okay.
Yeah, we only, at this moment, we only plan to host the college students.
I have two questions. One is, it was said that you're going to spend $70,000 to renovate the second floor for the first batch of kids.
Yes.
And $70,000 for the bottom floor for the next batch. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yeah.
Well, in this day and age, $70,000 doesn't go very far, and that building's been sitting for at least 2 years, 3 years. Is that going to be enough to renovate the building?
Okay. First, we think it may be enough to renovate because the renovations of the building would only include we will place the new floors there and the painted wall. There should be no more fix there. Okay. If the budget go higher, it's okay for us. Okay. For example, if the budget go higher, we are able to afford like $100,000 for the first batch and another $100,000 in the second batch. That's okay for us. Yeah.
Okay, my second question is, why did you wait so long to come and explain this to first to the planning commission, and now you're here before council?
Okay.
It didn't seem like you had a plan from what, I attended 3 different meetings, and at the 3 different meetings, there was different things said at each one of the meetings.
Okay, sorry about that. Because previously the lawyer told me that I was not required to come here. Yeah, this time the lawyer told me the council required me to come here. Previously, the lawyer told me no.
If at the end of 3 years or 4 years, and you don't have any students that are willing to come to this area, what do you plan on doing with the building?
Okay, after 3 or 4, you mean
You had said you'd give it another year after the first year if you didn't have any. You might even give it a second year. You might even give it a third year. But after that, what do you plan on doing with the building?
Okay. I think if unless the COVID-19 situation continues to work at this, then it's not possible for us. It's not possible to take 3 or 4 years for us to get students. Yeah, I think 2 years is enough for us to get to 10 to 20 students based on our previous experience. We have very big agency networks for student recruitment in Asia and Europe.
I think what they're asking you is, say you would get denied and they don't allow you to do this. What do you plan on doing with the building?
If my application is denied, then I will do research with the lawyer to see what reason our application is denied, and we will make it improved in the application, and we could do any change based on the council's requirements to submit another application or continue this application.
So you're telling us that you are so passionate about this, you are sure this would work, that if you get denied this time, you would keep asking and keep trying to do something to make the student housing only,
Yes.
with all of the same credentials that you just put forth, with the no extra cars, and they would be in, and it wouldn't be rowdy, and everything.
Yeah, and anything else required by the borough. I think previously we have included in the application that whenever you you think any else rules are necessary, you could make a recommendation. We could accept any reasonable recommended rules. Yeah.
Do you regularly conduct updated background checks on your employees to comply with state requirements?
Yes. Okay. We 100% of our staff must pass background check.
Do you renew them every 1 or 2 years?
Yes.
Check them again and again?
Yes.
Will they be hired from local, or will they be from within your agency?
Right. For the dorm supervisor, will from our agency, right? And for the 2 residential assistants, we plan to hire the residential assistants from the local colleges. That means, okay. I think you may have found it in our previous explanations. We hope to hire a local coordinator from Donora. Okay. It would be appreciated if you could refer someone from Donora to work as our local coordinator. Okay. Since I first visited this area, okay, I feel this area is not the same as big city like New York. Okay. And I think we do need some person from the local community to help us to communicate with the local communities and to work with the local communities.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Lois Godlewski.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Is there a Lois Godlewski in the crowd?
Hello. I've had an ongoing issue for the past 3 months, and I'm coming here because nothing has been resolved. In a property that is next to my property, there is a pile of trash that has been there, and I have been in touch with the code enforcement officer numerous times, and nothing has happened. And I don't know what to do. And I'm hoping you can tell me, or you can direct someone to take care of things. It is at the corner of Kastner and 9th and 8th. There is this huge pile of junk. And I have to look at it every day. When I look out my kitchen window, it is all this junk sitting there. As I said, I've already addressed this with the code enforcement officer months ago, and nothing has happened. And I would like to see something happen to get this resolved.
Michelle, do we know who owned that property?
A ticket was issued this week.
I'm sorry?
A ticket was issued to that person this week. I also been in court with that person.
Did you hear that?
I heard. Okay, so a ticket has been issued.
The ticket's been
It's
issued.
already been 3 months, though. How long do I have to look at this garbage sitting next to me?
Other than issuing the citation, she has to go to the hearing, which she said she's already been in court with. Now we got to wait for the judge to hand down a decision.
Okay?
As soon as that happens, and I'm sure the wheels of justice are slow, but she's moving along with it.
Okay.
If you're not satisfied in another 2 weeks, see her again.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Motion to approve the minutes from the November 10th, 2021 meeting. We also had an executive session on November 22nd for legal and personnel.
And then November 10th and November 22nd meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the minutes for November 10th by Mrs. Ackerman, second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
No.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Finance, Mrs. Ackerman.
Payroll report for the month of November 2021. Total amount of payroll, $72,802.10. Financial report, the general fund for the month of November 2021. Balance in the checking account as of November 1st, $678,456.57. Balance in the checking account as of November the 30th, 2021, $649,365.59. Make a motion to accept the financial treasurer's report as reported.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Ackerman, second by Mr. Parquet, to accept the treasurer's report as read. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Bill report for the month of November 2021. Total amount of the bills paid, $50,749.63. I would make a motion to accept the bill report as read.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the bill report as read by Mrs. Ackerman, second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Treasurers, the tax collector's report for the month of November 2021. Total amount collected and deposited, $8,533.14. I'm going to make a motion to accept the tax collector's report as read.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the tax report as read by Mrs. Ackerman, second by Mr. Parquet.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'm going to read the Borough of Denora final budget report for the year of 2022. Real estate and occupational taxes, $899,100. Act 511 taxes, $499,079.37. Community services special taxes, $14,000. Fire protection tax, $14,500. Recreation tax, $24,000. Library tax, $3,600. Licenses and permits, $81,600. Fines, forfeits, and costs, $38,100. Interests and rents, $23,000. Intergovernmental revenues, $450,350.47. Departmental earnings, $597,100. Miscellaneous revenue, $15,000. Other revenues, refunds and transfers, $178,433 even. Municipal state pension aid, $13,977. Total of all revenues in 2022, $2,837,859.84. Expenditures for the year 2022. Administration, $163,275. Tax collection, $28,850. And legal law, $15,700. Borough building, $101,850. Police, $665,658.37. Fire department, $54,255. Code enforcement, $70,000. Health and sanitation, $329,359. Highways, $541,968. Parking, $500. Transit authority, $4,000. Recreation, $28,500. Distribution of special services taxes, $3,000. Excuse me. $3,600. Insurances and employee benefits, $514,000. Non-uniform MMO pension plan contributions under the non-uniform retirement fund, $13,997. Other expenses except non-uniform MMO, $260,247.47. Total of all expenditures in 2022, $2,837,859.84. That is the borough report that I submitted for the final budget for 2022.
And the budget is balanced with no tax increase.
You are correct.
Motion to accept?
Yeah, motion to accept the budget for 2022.
Motion.
Yeah, I have a motion by Mr. Greco, a second by Mr. Lawson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Price?
No.
Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko?
Like I've said all along, I don't know enough to vote yes. I do voting no, and I'm continuing to vote no on the budget.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I can make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-13, which is the tax resolution fixing the tax rate for 2022. Mr. Tokrani, could you read that one?
Yes, Mrs. Ackerman, this is Resolution 2021-13. It's a resolution of the Borough of Denora, Washington County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, fixing the tax rate for the year 2022. Now therefore be resolved by the Council of the Borough of Denora, Washington County, Pennsylvania, that the tax fee and the same is hereby levied on all real property within Denora Borough, subject to taxation for the fiscal year 2022 as follows. Section 1, tax rate for general purposes, the sum of 6.512 mils on assessed valuation. Section 2, tax rate for fire protection services, the sum of 0.125 mils on all real estate, subject to taxation. Section 3, tax rate for recreation, the sum of 2.19 mils, 0.219 mils on all real estate, subject to taxation. Section 4, tax for library rate, the sum of 0.031 mils on all real estate, subject to taxation. Section 5, that a flat rate of $3 is hereby levied for the occupation tax in lieu of millage rate. Section 6, that a flat rate of $5 is hereby levied for capita tax in lieu of millage rate. Section 7, that any resolution or part of resolution conflicting with this fee and the same is hereby repealed insofar as the same affects this resolution. Duly adopted this 11th day of December 2021 by the Council of the Borough of Denora, Washington County, in lawful session duly assembled.
Thank you, Mr. Tokrani. I'll make a motion to approve tax resolution.
Second.
Yeah, I have a motion to approve tax resolution 2021-13. Second.
Yes.
Second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko? Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 council meeting schedule. All work sessions will be held the first Thursday of every month at 6 p.m., and the regular council meetings are held the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located at 603 Meldon Avenue, Donora. An exact schedule will be published in the local newspaper.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the 2022 council meeting schedule by Mrs. Ackerman, second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I have an announcement. The Borough of Denora's reorganization meeting will be held on Monday, January 3rd, 2022, as required by the Borough Code of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that is the end of my report, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ackerman. Mrs. Price, please.
Okay. Code enforcement building permits for the month of November 2021. 3 permits issued, permit fees $972.30. Borough of Denora Code Enforcement Report to Council, inspections 374, compliance orders 46, permits 23, citation tickets 18, hearings 8. Sanitation report for the month of November 2021, Monies collected, $9,392.31. Delinquent sanitation fees to the magistrate, $632.53. Occupancy report, fee report for the month of November 2021. Permit fees, $200, year-to-date, $1,250. Registration fee report for the month of November 2021. Registration fees, $1,275, year-to-date, $28,227.52. Okay, motion to approve the 2022 garbage rate as $180 discount annual rate payable by April 1st, 2022, or quarterly payments of $60 payable by March 20th, June 20th, September 20th, and December 20th. All quarterly payments paid after the due date are subject to a 10% late fee. I made the motion.
Second.
Yeah, I have a motion to approve the 2020 garbage rates by Mrs. Bryce, second by Mr. Greco. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Yes.
Mr. Greco? Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, motion to approve resolution 2021-14, Mon Valley Sewage Official Sewage Facility Revision Plan. Mr. Chapran,
Yes, Mrs. Bryce.
would you like to elaborate on that?
I will. This is resolution for plan revision, number 2021-14, whereas Section 5 of the Act of January 24, 1966, Public Law 1535, number 537, knows the Pennsylvania Sewage Facilities Act as amended, the rules and regulations of the PDP adopted thereunder, Chapter 71, entitled 25 PA Code, requires municipality to adopt an official sewage facilities plan providing for sewage services adequate to prevent contamination of waters and or environmental health hazards with sewage waste, and to revise said plan whenever is necessary to meet sewage disposal needs of the municipality. Whereas the Mon Valley Sewage Authority has prepared an Act 537 Sewage Facilities Update Special Study for the Denora Equalization Tank, which provides for the construction of CSO equalization facilities and conveyance sewers that will provide treatment of the existing and future wastewater disposal needs of the borough, and complete Phase 3 of the authority's long-term control plan to reduce the number of combined sewer overflows to the Monongahela River will meet the requirements of national CSO policy by achieving 85% capture. Whereas Phase 3 of the LTCP has been revised to eliminate the 3 CSO satellite treatment proposed in the borough's Donora, as well as 5 bar screen facilities, of which 2 were proposed to be located in the borough of Denora and 3 in the city of Menneson, and replace the eliminated facilities with the construction of an equalization tank and conveyance sewers in the borough. Phase 3 consists of a 2 million gallon equalization tank, pump station, screening facility, and 1,900 linear feet of 12-inch, 24-inch, and 48-inch conveyance sewers. Phase 1 and 2 are complete with an estimated total cost of $35 million. The total project cost is $75 million of Phase 3. Scheduled to begin construction in January 22 and end construction in December of 22. The authority was able to refinance existing bonds and leverage capital, such as users' fees are not anticipated to increase for implementation of Phase 3. The current anticipated user fees are $153 per quarter, $51 per month, for 0 to 8,000 gallons of water consumption per residential and non-residential establishments. Usage of 8,000 gallons is billed at a cost of $19.13 per 1,000 gallons. The Mon Valley Sewage Authority is responsible for the key implementation activities, dates, which include design, permitting, and financing of the project. Thank you, Mrs. Bryce.
Somebody got a second? I made the motion.
Second. Yeah, I have a motion to approve the resolution number 2021-14 by Mrs. Bryce, second by Mr. Greco. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Yes.
Mr. Greco? Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, motion to approve resolution 2021-15 to prepare an Act 537 plan special study, which includes portions of the borough tributary to the Mon Valley Sewage Authority sewage facility. Mr. Duprandy, again.
Yes, Mr. President. Act 537 Plan Special Study for the Mon Valley Sewage Authority pursuant to Resolution 2021-15. This is a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Denora, Washington County, authorizing the Mon Valley Sewage Authority to prepare an Act 537 Special Study Plan, which will include portions of the borough tributary to the Mon Valley Sewage Authority sewage facilities. The resolution provides that whereas the Borough of Donora is served by existing MVSA sewage conveyance and treatment facilities, and whereas the MVSA is proposing to prepare an Act 537 special study to adequately prevent contamination of waters and/or environmental health hazards with sewage waste, whereas the Borough of Donora understands that the MVSA is preparing the study at their expense in accordance with the task activity report and work plan with associated costs identified therein. To the extent reimbursement for any of these costs is available, Borough of Denora agrees said reimbursement will be dispersed or distributed to MVSA. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of Borough of Denora hereby authorizes the Mon Valley Sewage Authority to prepare the Act 537 Special Plan Study as described in the task activity report and work plan dated March 8, 2021 by the Council of the Borough of Denora.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Bryce, second by Mr. Greco. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Greco. Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquette.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
A motion to approve ordinance 1402, amending ordinance 1391, regulating and governing the conditions and maintenance of all property buildings and structures under the residential rental unit ordinance. Mr. Duprandy, you're up.
I think I'm starting to rival Mrs. Ackerman with reading tonight. This is ordinance 1402, amending ordinance 1391, regulating and governing the conditions and maintenance of all properties, buildings, structures by adopting the Borough of Denora residential rental unit ordinance. This would provide for an update, section 261-2, defines residential rental unit as a room unit or a dwelling unit let for lease, or rent to own of any residential not occupied by persons other than the owner. It provides for a $50 per residential property occupancy permit and inspection fee. And it allows council to adopt by majority vote any ratification or future amendment to the occupancy permit fee and inspection fee. And it also allows for a summary conviction or penalty not to exceed $300 for violations of this ordinance. And any other provisions inconsistent would be changed accordingly by the Borough Council.
Need a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Bryce to approve ordinance 1402, amendment ordinance 1391.
Ordinance 1403.
No, it was 1402. I got one more.
Second by Mr. Lawson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Greco. Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquette.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, motion to approve ordinance 1403, amending ordinance number 1400, enacted August 12, 2021, amending section 6B, setting the sanitation payment due dates. Mr. Duprandy.
Mrs. Bryce, this is ordinance number 1403, amending ordinance number 1400, enacted August 12, 2021, being enacted and ordained by council of the Borough of Nora, is hereby enacted and ordained with the authority of the same. Section 6, fees. Payments by households, homeowners, persons, managers, or operators of residential properties shall be made annually at a discount on or before April 1st of each year, or quarterly payments due by March 20th June 20th, September 20th, and December 20th of each year. All accounts shall be considered delinquent more than 30 days behind. Accounts falling into delinquency are subject to a 10% service charge on the unpaid balance. The service charge shall be calculated quarterly. A missed payment described here and before will result in a 10-day notice posting of the residence. The notice will explain the account's delinquency and request that immediate action be taken to bring the account into good or current standing. Fees are set forth by council annually by resolution, enacted on this date by Borough Council. Thank you, Mrs. Bryce.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Price to approve ordinance number 1403, amending ordinance number 1400. Second by Mrs. Ackerman. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce. Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, motion to approve the conditional use request for student housing at 116 Kenrick Avenue by Future Eye Services LLC.
Do you have a motion to approve or not to approve?
I think it can be, what you, motion to approve or not approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion to approve or not approve the conditional use.
She said approved. Yeah, she
Okay,
said she
approved.
Well, Joe said not approved, I clarified.
So we have to set, she were gonna go with approved, so everybody knows how to vote.
You either
Okay.
approve or not approve.
Yeah, we'll go with approve. Motion to approve the conditional use requested for student housing. Mrs. Bryce, second by Mr. Greco. Roll
Mrs.
call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman. Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
I'd like to make a comment before I vote. You know what? My wife and I had the occasion to have a student from Brazil stay at our place. And we've got people that go to their country, we've got people coming from their country to here, and they're here to study and learn. And I'm in favor of it. I vote yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
No.
Mr. Pavelko.
No. And one of the reasons, if you would have came earlier and explained it to the planning commission a little bit better than it was explained, but at this time, I vote no.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
This next motion, I don't feel it should have been under my committee. This is a financial thing, okay? And I don't think we talked about this as a whole council, so I'm not in favor of this next motion. This equates to a 25% increase in salary, which is unheard of, and this is disrespectful to the other employees in this town who have had years and years of service. I'm sure she's doing a great job. I'm sure she deserves some money, but a 25% raise is absolutely out of the question as far as my opinion goes. So I'm not ready for this motion.
Ms. Terry, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
And the finance chairman, because I'm under the impression we're bringing a lot of money on fines, especially when she reads these reports about the fines that are coming in.
Yes.
Well, what is the money? We should have talked this over. You should have showed me the numbers.
Every month you read the
Well,
report.
yeah, every
Yeah, but
month
you don't add them up.
Yeah, we do. I have it here.
Oh, you don't care. I'm not gonna argue with you.
You
And
read it,
it's
though,
not at
Mrs. Bryce.
25%. Michelle went and got her BCO. She
Okay.
came to all expectations that she promised last year when she started off at the lower rates.
But then we gave her a full-time job and a full benefit package. That was what, she was a part-time job with no benefits. So it became a full-time job with entire, how much do benefits cost? $1,500, $2,000 a month?
No, she has a different policy, so she's not full family, so it's less.
Well, then what is it?
Around 1,000, 1,100.
Okay, so 1,100, so her salary add on to another, what, $2,300, $2,400, whatever, it's a lot of money.
Her total so far this year, as of November, Michelle has brought in $10,534 in the ordinance violation code.
I was going to say, if you just read the report that you read earlier,
Well, I'm just saying, $10,000, but you're just about
That's
to give
just
her
in violations.
Okay.
And she got her
I'm not gonna
BCO.
argue.
We don't need a third party. Now that she can do it, we're
discussed
saving money there.
We should have
President, you
discussed
want me
this
to
as
make
an
a motion?
entire
You know what,
council.
let's do this, let's put it to sleep. I make a motion that we approve that.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion that we approve a salary increase for code enforcement officer effective January 1st. Roll call, please.
Do a second, I'm sorry.
I'll give it a second.
Second, Mr. Parquet.
Okay. Mrs. Ackerman. Mrs. Bryce. Mr. Greco. Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Now, I'm not real crazy about giving money out, but Michelle has done a good job. I worked with her this past week, and she's done an excellent job. Code enforcement officers are not cheap.
It took her 3 months to write a ticket for this lady.
Hey, there's no comments here. What are we doing?
We will address that. I vote yes.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, there's not, but there is currently a vacancy on the Borough's Planning Commission and Sewage Board. If you have an interest on serving on one of these boards, please submit a letter of interest to the Borough Administrator at the Administrator Office located at 633 Bellevue Avenue, Denora, PA 15023, by December 30th, 2021. And that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Price. Mr. Pavelko.
Thank you, Mr. President. The park rentals for the month of November 2021, $200. Year-to-date total, $16,750. Mr. President, that's all I have for this
Okay,
evening.
thank you, Mr. Pavelko. Mr. Lawson.
Banquet hall report for the month of November 2021. Year-to-date, $6,675. Also, I have a motion to approve a 50-cent raise to the part-time administration building staff effective January 1st, 22.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve a 50-cent increase to the part-time administrative staff by Mr. Lawson, second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Yes.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Mr. Parquet, Highways and Streets.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a motion to approve a curb cut at 717 Ellen Avenue to access a driveway and a garage.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the curb cut at Allen Avenue by Mr. Parquet, second by Mr. Pavelko. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavelko.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
That's all I have for them, Mr. President. I would like to say, these last few years, they've been interesting. We've got a lot accomplished. There's a lot more work to be done. I especially enjoyed working with our street department and our street chairman, Mr. Petrosky. And I think we need to recognize the work he does and appreciate him for it. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Parquet. Mr. Greco.
Report for the month of November, the complaints answered was 255 complaints. There was 8 automobile accident investigations, total of 268 monthly reports. The offense reports, there was 1 burglary, which wasn't cleared, and there was 4 thefts, which wasn't cleared. In the part 2 of the offenses, there was 1 sex offense, which was cleared, DWI, which was cleared, 4 disorderly conducts, which was arrests, and 1 borough ordinance, which was made by arrest. There was 5 motor vehicle arrests, and 3 abandoned vehicles, I presume, was moved. Neil?
I don't know, Bill. I'm not familiar with that.
The 5 motor vehicle arrests, I take it those were speeding
Jim
violations?
Bryce, yeah, Jim Bryce.
Mileage report, there was a total of 3,226 miles put on during the month of November. I think that needs increase, though. That's like 35 miles per shift. You just drive 10 miles an hour, 8 hours, that's like 80 miles. Last month, we read 37, the month before that, 37. That needs to be addressed. Financial report, the overtime for the month of November, $6,605.40. Year-to-date, $22,325.10. Court time was $274.68. Year-to-date, $6,525.24. That overtime indicates that we need to do some hiring. I'm glad we're doing the civil service test this coming Saturday. Hopefully we can do some hiring by January. The other revenue from the police, received from police reports, $30. Received from magistrate fines, $1,336.93. Total of $1,366.93 was received from fines. Other parking revenues, the parking permits, I would imagine that's for the 6th Street Plaza and other plazas. Permits come to a total of $80. All total, the revenue received in the month of November there was $1,446.93. I need a motion, or I'll make a motion, to approve the salary increase of 2% as per the agreement from Superintendent James Bryce. His annual salary now becomes $71,794.94, take effect January of 2022.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the salary increase of 2% for Superintendent Bryce, effective January 1st, 2022, by Mr. Greco, second by Mr. Parquet. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bryce.
No, she can't vote.
I know she has to say.
Yeah, it's not.
Mr. Greco.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
Yes.
Mr. Pavoco.
I'm going to vote no, and because of Senate Bill number 530 of 1984, I believe that the superintendent is actually entitled to more. So that's my vote, no.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Announcement to make here, the Denora Fire Company announces that Santa Claus is coming to town on Thursday, December 23rd. And I would imagine the parade will start at 5 p.m. sharp.
They bring Santa around town, there's no parade.
Oh, there's no parade?
It's just they bring Santa around and see the kids.
Go stand on the corner and wait for Santa. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Greco. Okay, non-agenda items, I have quite a few people on here, so I would ask that everybody take 3 minutes, explain, you know what I mean, and this way everybody gets the topic. Okay, first up, we have Mr. Braden Welcher.
I'm Braden Wiltshire. I have a couple of things for everyone that donated and helped out with my Eagle project, Let's Swing. It's for hanging up handicapped swings up at Palmer Park.
I'd like to commend this young man. He had a really nice project. He put that swing up for handicapped kids. Fine young man. Fine young
Good
man.
heck of a job. Easy to win.
Oh, thank you, Braden, thank you.
Karen Fontanella.
I apologize for my outburst before. But I'd like to find out, last month, it was announced that there was a town-wide rat infestation. What is being done about it?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said.
She said rat infestation. Could you
Last
answer that?
month, a rat infestation town-wide was announced here, nowhere else, And what is being done about it?
I believe what the announcement was there was
An
an
infestation.
infestation and that everyone should be taking precautions for their property. Now, I don't believe it was said that it was a town-wide infestation, but I believe it was an acknowledgement that we have a problem and that residents need to be aware of it and take care of their properties. Am I correct, Michelle?
Yes, and we also did have a plan in place, and it's already begun to be implemented. We've started the target enforcement, I've started target enforcement up in the Cement City area, where there's zero tolerance up there. I'm also inspecting, doing the rental inspections on all of the properties up there. I've already done 3 of them. You know, I have to get the landlords to cooperate, but yes, I've gotten into 3 properties. I have a couple scheduled next week for the rental inspection, so you can see what's going on inside these properties. We're cracking down on using garbage cans with lids up in that area, and then we'll move on to the next area after we clear that up. We also have made the flyers. We'll go out the garbage bills, which is also part of our multi-step plan.
I'd just like to say, last month Michelle called me before she made that announcement, and I really appreciated the fact that not only did she bring it up, how it should be approached, but we went over a plan, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 minutes worth on the phone, and she had a plan in place. She's already started. So there's targeted enforcement areas, things that the borough can enforce and do, she's been doing, and just a town-wide information for protect your property.
Isn't there a way to infiltrate the sewer system, to lay down poison? I mean, there's technology, there's answers to this.
There are, and
We don't
that's-
have to live with this.
That's also part of the plan that Michelle's laid out, different things that we can do as a borough to follow through with these steps.
And will that be laying down poison, or is it just garbage lids?
Would you like to go over that?
Yeah.
What we had discussed in the
I
poison
can.
part?
I've begun classes. You have to be licensed and certified to lay poison down as a borough. So I have begun classes. The classes, they estimate, take about 3 months. So we can do that.
So us as the borough, she has to go through classes, be licensed and do that. Now, you as property owners, you can put poison on your own property, and you can protect your own property, and we can start there, and that's what the informational part of it was, to let you guys, make you guys aware of it, and let you start doing it. Michelle's already started with taking the classes and getting all the credentials she needs to poison for the borough. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
I don't feel confident about it. No, I don't.
Mr. Rich Gonzalez.
December 23rd of this month is going to be 2 years that our house burned down next to my house. It's a safety issue. Their back of the house is starting to cave in. Nobody cares that Mr. Stacy has to get out in a hurry in his wheelchair. And nothing has been done. Citation after citation, nothing is being done. Why not?
Did you say there's been citations?
Yes, I actually had a hearing, and she failed to comply. The magistrate found her guilty, and we've begun to cite her again. She has no intention. You're absolutely right.
Well, somebody has to do something about it. If I were to sell my property, I can't. I can't even give it away
Okay.
with the way it looks down here.
Okay.
Can a warrant be issued for her?
There was a
been
warrant,
picked up.
she was picked up, she was taken to the magistrate, we had a hearing, she has over $5,000 in fines that she owes.
That's not tearing the damn house down, is it?
Well, I don't have to.
It's a safety issue. Can't you get a proclamation and get the toilet out?
She
I'm not gonna
owns it,
respond
the
to that.
magistrate tried, and
You
she,
can't do nothing about
She
it.
is
We have to,
refusing.
it's not even boarded up.
we addressed that.
You addressed it, nothing's being done. Lazy, 3 months, wait. You're not gonna get nothing done. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Delatry.
You calling me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, I think you pretty much know what I'm here for, and last time I was here, it's for the coal trucks. Last time I was here, I pointed out 3 issues that have been the problem with coal trucks. One was the speeding, 2 was the dust, and 3 was the damage to infrastructure, okay? Now, we had a meeting with Scott Crow from Robindale Energy and from John Ross from the Donora River Terminal. It was a good meeting. They want to be good neighbors, what they say. I take them for their word. And so let's go, what I'm going to go to, I'm going to go through all the 3 things that we talked about. Okay, the speeding. Since the police have been down there, the speeding has slowed down. Now, from what some of the residents said that when the police aren't there, that they speed back up again. Okay? So that I don't know. I'm not there myself, but this is what we had from some of the residents, that when the police are there, they slow down. When they leave, they speed up. One of the questions I had, and I don't know, I'm not positive of how this works, but can we put down white lines and can we clock them for a speeding ticket? Because if you gave them a ticket, it'll mean a whole lot more than a warning, let me tell you, because we'll get back to those guys.
Well, no, you can do it?
No.
Can we, the borough? do it?
Not me, the borough.
Yeah, we
Can
can.
we do it?
The only thing that's hindering it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Petrosky, the weather's kind of like cold and that paint is going to stick. And once the cars run over it, they're going to take it. People are going to be upset with the, although we might have some clear weather coming up this week.
We're actually doing it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I talked to Jimmy yesterday about it. We're going to put it out because the weather is a little bit warmer tomorrow. It takes that paint forever to dry out. So we have to shut a whole lane of traffic down and direct it while it dries. But tomorrow, we're going to put lines down.
Well, okay, that sounds really good. Can we give them tickets?
Not me.
Neil, can we give them tickets?
Once we get our timing devices, we
We
have
have them, they came today, I ordered them yesterday,
We
they
have to
came
get them
today.
certified.
Okay.
Once they're calibrated.
They're done, they're
All
set,
right,
they're
thank
done.
you.
Yep.
Okay, the second thing, the dust. Now, there's not as much dust in the winter, obviously, because it's raining. We got a lot worse weather. Most of the dust comes in the summertime, the heavier dust. Now, from what I'm hearing, the DRT through Robindale is talking about buying a $300,000 state-of-the-art dust sweeper, street sweeper, that will supposedly be able to pick up the heavy dust and the heavy dirt and all that cold dust that you see coming from Carroll Township into here. I think they even demoed it. Donnie, you said something about it.
I witnessed the demo.
You witnessed it?
I think Mike witnessed the demo.
Mike did? And you guys said that it can't pick up the heavy stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't see dust being thrown out.
And the rumor is that they're going to buy this machine, is that correct?
Yes.
And I can address that, I don't interrupt you. I am John Ross.
Oh, John, I didn't see you there.
I'm sorry. We ordered the sweeper, it'll be delivered late February, early March. We have a PO for it, and honestly, they told us 9 months, but we actually bought that demo that we demoed. So we will have that in our possession at latest at the beginning of March.
Good, thank you.
Okay, that should probably solve up the dust problem. That's two of our problems, okay? Now, there's one more though. And this one, I don't know how we're going to stop that, and that's the infrastructure, the potholes, okay? Now, Mike, you probably have seen this. We got potholes developing right there at the A Street, right where you get to the light. We also have a pothole developing right at 10th Street stop sign. And we have a pothole at 11th Street, which was filled not that long ago. It's starting to come back again. And one of the, Roger Williams has complained that, you know, they hit that pothole, it shakes his entire house, okay? So I don't know, well, and plus we also have we have potholes down, going alongside the skating rink, and even coming down past TechMed. That road's getting pretty tore up. You can even see where some of the blacktop is kind of lifting on the side of the road there, right across from the skating rink, okay? So, whose responsibility would that be, being it's a state, most of it's a state road, to be able to fill these potholes? Is it PennDOT? Is it us? Is it DRT? Because somebody's got to fill them, because as the winter goes on, and when you get into spring, those holes are going to be big. Anybody have an idea on that?
I spoke with a representative from PennDOT. He did come down and evaluate the road, and he did address the potholes, and they are going to have to fix them.
So PennDOT is going to fix the potholes?
Yes, yes, that's all state road.
Who was the PennDOT official?
Brandon,
John, correct me if I'm wrong, we had this problem before. Did you guys help us out with it?
His name was Brandon.
We did, I mean, we were entertaining on your two little sections, or if you need some help with that. I mean, we were entertaining, we had, so help for us.
Yeah, we had- One section of that roadway is the Boroughs, which is H Street, from Gallipa Drive up to Meldon. The rest of that is all state road. So when we had the pothole on the side, John did send El Grande to repair it when we addressed it last time, which he said that was an open door anytime that there was a problem to let him know.
Thank you very
He would
much.
take care of our portion of it. The state, we have nothing to do with.
And that offer stands.
Now, the state said when they would address it, by any chance?
No. That's a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem because
And
it's
that's
going to
always
get
a
bigger.
problem. Look
We've
at the
been
sign
after
on the
state-
bridge.
Yeah, that sign on the bridge, stand
It's
mutual.
been crooked forever.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to bring up, well,
The other
a
day,
couple
I
things.
put down
is,
they were putting-
We have some Jake break signs in town. We have two, I think. Okay? Is there a possibility of getting a third break Jake break sign between 10th and, between 9th, between 10th and 8th Street, okay? Because there's a lot of Jake breaking going on there. I can hear it at my house, but I know Jay Sloan, before he had the fire, he was complaining about that. And then Dorothy hears it at her house, Dorothy Bird. Is that a possibility? And how do you go about it to get another Jake break sign? I don't know. Is that PennDOT or is that?
I think you gotta go through the state for that too. That's who put those two.
I think the borough had passed an ordinance,
Yeah.
and I think we just notified that we placed another one, because we already have two on the state road. They think they approved them. I think additional signs, you just notify, hey, we placed additional signs, we're still getting complaints, and they would approve it. So we
Who
can.
would go about doing it? Would you be?
Yeah, I mean, all they do is that they just tell me to order them, and I can order them.
Okay, great. That's why I think we need one there. And one last thing on the light at 8th Street. It would really be great if we could have a no turn on red there, because the trucks are still, they're not, a lot of them aren't stopping, they're going right through it, okay? Now, how would we go about that, to get another,
State road,
pardon me?
that's a state road. They would have to approve all that. And I
How
do believe
how
there
could
is
we
a
go
no
about
turn on
talking to
road.
them about that?
What's that?
How could we go about approaching that?
I'll reach out to my contact, we reach out to the other contacts and see what we have to do about getting that done. Like the state would have to do that being their road. But I do believe there is a no turn on, you need to come out the industrial park.
No, coming out Main Street.
Come, they
Because
are
they're-
making a right going north.
They're making it right, they're not stopping. Some do, but a lot of them
I think there is a
don't.
no turn on red there, but I have to
I
look.
don't think, I don't think there is.
I don't know, but we can just ask, that's all we can do.
Okay. All right, that's pretty much what I'd say. Well, one last thing, some people ask why I've even gotten involved in this thing. And the reason why I've gotten involved in it is because we've been going on for 4 or 5 years. I live there, I get dust, okay? I get it on my porch, I get it on my railing, I get it on my deck, and I get it on my porch furniture, okay? And so do a lot of other people too. That's why I get in this. I have no skin in the game, I'm not making anything on this deal, okay? I got in it for the people, for myself too, you're right. Scott Nedrill has helped me, okay? Both of us have organized, and we've got the people involved in it because it's been going on for 4 or 5 years. We just would like to see something done. I have good faith in the meeting we had with Scott Crow and John, so I think we're on the right track. Thank you very much.
Judy Gray? She left. I think she left. Okay, Scott Nedro.
Okay, just want to follow up a little bit about what Sky said about Robindale and follow up on what's happening since our meeting that actually Donnie and Cindy put together. They've already got involved with a program, I forget the acronym for it, at Ringgold High School where there's going to be about $5,000 donated, between $5,000 and $10,000 for a program for youth involved in career path type of development. That's in the works. They're working directly with a contact at Ringgold. The second thing is another program that you're probably aware of, you read in the paper, NAP, Neighborhood Assistance Program. We had a meeting last week with the board of the library, and we're looking for a point person to kind of lead the grant writing aspect of it, where we can get, who knows how much Scott had talked about giving to that program, but we have to, our kind of viewpoint on what we want to do with the money is different than the library at this point, but we're working on that. But we have a willing backer, sponsor in Robindale, and I just want to say that, I mean, it's not a love fest with Robindale, we still have issues, but they're forthright, they want to be a good corporate neighbor, and you can see by the development that's occurred that they're trying to do their best to be a good neighbor. However, when it comes to this council and what we're doing for ourselves, you know, the last 2 weeks I've saw the street sweeper, our street sweeper run. And I can show you in front, Don McCain past my house, past Jed Sky's office. It's a dramatic improvement in the coloration of the blacktop. I don't know why we don't run it all the time. You can say it doesn't work, it's not designed for it, but here we have a gentleman who's going to spend $300,000 on a state-of-the-art street sweeper to go from all the way from his plant all the way through 8th Street and out. But we can't do some of the streets ourselves. I think we should have a motion up here at some point that we have that kind of activity done by our maintenance department. Number one, how much is in the budget for any of this CDC, coal, dust, all the other issues? Is there designated for any of the issues that we've talked about? I can probably answer that for you, 0. Okay? All right? Same with the blight, $15,000. We're giving Michelle, no, I'm not trying to, you know, anybody deserves money. I know your guys' logic, she probably does the work of other 3 or 4 different people where the market's higher than what she's paying. But for us as a town, to have $15,000 for demo, and Mr. Franzalio, the frustration of seeing a house sit there.
Not to interrupt you, but we already explained that to you. We have the possibility of getting in fact, I think we already got it. It's a $200,000 grant strictly for blight. New Eagle or Monongahela just got theirs.
Joe, you know,
that's why you only see the 15,000.
Well, Joe, then I don't see any. You bought a backhoe for 30. Why don't you use it?
That I can't answer for you. That you're going to have to address to him.
Okay. Well, we got grants. You look at this budget. Now that you brought the budget up.
I didn't bring it up. You did.
Okay. Well, then do something with the 15,000, Joe. That's not your department anyhow. You handle the police. Okay. This budget, in all due respect, is a farce. If you look at these numbers, there are plug numbers on the bottom of each column that are total about 20% of the budget. And the tax base of this town generates about $1.4 million of income, of revenue. And we spend about we're going to spend $2.8 million, twice that. So how we can project what that other $1.4 million is beyond me.
Can I say something? That budget that we have, it's just a summary of what we expect to spend. You could spend more, you could spend less in different departments, number one. Number two, whenever we do the council meeting in 2022, the very first one, that budget could be readdressed.
And we're going to hopefully have
it. It could be reopened. So we're not going to take all day and hammer about this here budget right now.
No, you never hammered it, Mike, with all due respect. You have board members that said you didn't review it in the process you had to develop this budget.
When they were going over the budget, everybody was invited down to attend.
Don Pavelko stood up and said, you guys had, in the past, had spent Saturday afternoons type of time discussing line by line. Okay? And quite frankly, Mike, I was here for the work session that you guys discussed the budget.
Yes.
And it was nothing but Terry reporting what she thought the numbers should be, without any input from any of you. Okay? Very little, if any.
You get the numbers from whatever you spent last year. You project what you might, if you spend $100 last year, you know things have went up, so I'm not going to increase it by 50%. I might only increase it by 20%.
Understood, Mike. But you guys have tax raising authority, and you don't. And you're making a guess.
It's
okay.
not a guess. It's an
Mr.
estimation.
Measure, were you sitting in Terry's office at all this year when we spent hours going over the budget and everything that we decided to do? Were you involved in it? No, you were not.
No, I wasn't, because I'm not a member of council.
I would say don't talk, if you don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about,
We
ma'am.
spent hours on this
Let
budget.
me ask you a
not just
question.
one or two.
Let me ask you a question. Where's the American Rescue money that we got from the feds and the county? What account is that in? And where we spent that money?
It's not spent yet. We have
Okay?
till 2020.
And where's that in the budget right here for 22?
It's in there under that line item.
May I make a suggestion here?
Yes.
If he's got questions concerning the
He's
budget,
welcome
he
to
needs to
stop.
make an appointment with you.
Right,
and
absolutely
come and
Make an
discuss it.
appointment with you? You can't get council members to talk to her.
Why not? I don't have any problems talking to
I don't have
her.
a problem talking to
You,
her.
you sat at that work session, and you're gonna say that nobody asked questions?
Hey, guys.
I must have asked a dozen questions.
You guys, you know what, this is what happens when people stand up to all you people. You start getting loud. You're not gonna get us,
I'm not
you're
getting
not
loud, I'm
gonna, you're
just
not
telling you,
gonna get
make
us
an
to go
appointment,
away.
come and talk to her.
Hey, listen, these people have been sitting here the whole evening. I'm gonna tone it down. But this is gonna keep going on. We're gonna keep watching where the money goes, okay?